No, you're not seeing things. This is a redo of my second Everything Wrong with CinemaSins ever, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. To be honest, I'm mostly doing it because I overused blurring in that original version to an insane degree, and I'd like to reword a few sins too. I believe this will be the last redo of a video that I'll ever do, but who knows if I'll change my mind. Anyway, enjoy.
What's the matter? Lives flashing before your eyes?
No, just one. Fear me if you dare.
This is gonna be fun.
Who's brave and ready for trouble? Who's so unbelievably humble? Who's your favorite fearless hero? Who's your favorite fearless hero? Who's the guy who rolls the dice and gambles with his life? Who's ever been touched by a blade? Who's a good is never afraid? Who is your favorite fearless hero? Who is your favorite fearless hero? Pick it up.
Comcast. I will never understand why the sliver of the moon is somehow inside the moon, and if... Wait, oh no. Did DreamWorks Animation Marvelize their opening logo? No, DreamWorks! Bad DreamWorks! Drop it! Bad! Bad! Also including Boss Baby in your anything, ever. Also, where are the crew? It's Madagascar, Turbo, the Bee from B-Movie, what about Moses?
Opening the video with 4 sins focus on the freaking logos. If there's any sign that CinemaSins is gonna struggle to find actual sins in this amazing movie, it has to be this one.
First star I see tonight.
How is there ever a first star you see if this is the sky you are looking at? First glance, you're seeing at least 1,000 stars on a planet or two at the same time.
Jeremy just took a poem about a wishing star seriously. That's it. That's the sin.
Also, peroration.
That terrible pun.
Needing to clarify a swashbuckling talking cat's relationship to reality.
And to also remind you that this is set in the Shrek universe. Remember, this movie came out 11 years after the last Puss in Boots movie and 12 years after the final Shrek movie, so people are going to need a reminder for what kind of world this is, or even for the new fans. And also, despite this opening text, you are still going to take this movie dead serious, so why are you even bothering?
And we will never wash it again.
Encouraging bad hygiene as a response to your child's budding interest in BDSM.
Excuse me, what did you just say? Do I need to call Chris Hansen on you?
In order for this to make any sense, this horse here would have had to do a full 360 while standing on his hind legs. And if that happened, you show me that
See what I mean? Jeremy just said 2 sins ago that this movie is already unrealistic since it's about a swashbuckling talking cat. So what's with the flip-flopping here?
Leaving your swords on the 5-second delay setting. What if you need something to be sorted immediately?
You awoke the sleeping giant of Del Mar!
With some fireworks? How does this town not get destroyed every time there's a thunderstorm?
I'm pretty sure there's a difference between thunderstorms, which are natural, and fireworks, which aren't.
This could be set for the majority of the movie, so let's just add a few sins here for Puss in Boots surviving any of this. And yes, I realize he actually will die in a minute, so you might see the irony, but I see you off and me still giving this movie sins.
No, I'm not gonna go away. In fact, I'm just gonna play every instance of you questioning cartoon physics right now and add 20 sins for each one. Why? Because I want to.
You have to show me how a cat would make that pee stick, or I refuse to believe it happened. Sleeping with this many cats on top of you and still having lungs that are fully functional. I'm no doctor, but I'm still positive that is not possible. Here we go. Look, I'm sure there are certain things giant, barely flexible clawed appendages are good for. Playing the piano this well is not one of them. No outfit that has been underground soaking up water for this long would look this good, especially that feather. That feather would look like a clump of post-shower armpit hair at best. Holy shit, those pies are still steaming right out of the oven. How is Horner not melted his plum off?
Wait a second. So poofy!
Ah, you, movie. There's no way you're getting that kind of volume without a hairdryer.
Take it from me. Never trust anyone.
Wait, that's amazing!
And also impossible. Sure, human bridges, hilarious, whatever, but how do they work? How is the guy at the foot end even keeping his feet on the ledge? There's nothing for him to hook his feet around, and he's only several hundred pounds of weight. This ridiculousness. I get that wire work is a valuable part of the history of filmmaking, but just because you edit out the wires digitally doesn't mean I don't know they were there. Neither of these characters is a superhero, and they just jumped down about 100 feet to solid ground. One of them landed in the classic superhero landing pose. These are vanilla-ass human beings, for f***'s sake. Might as well get this off my chest right now. This movie is gorgeous. The almost cel-shaded effect of the environment, the use of different frame rates, the visualizations of the movements. You didn't have to go this hard for PIB dose, but you did. So go ahead and take the sin off before I remember this is the Shrek universe.
You had me up until you mentioned the Shrek universe, as if this movie being connected to those films is a bad thing. Dude, 3 out of the 4 mainline Shrek movies are great. However, if we include the Puss in Boots films, the first is just okay, while this movie is fabulous, so that makes 4 out of 6 Shrek movies being amazing. I'm just gonna chalk this up to having a different opinion and your opinion not being law.
Watching Puss in Boots fight with a giant made me realize that these few seconds are better than the entirety of the last Hellboy movie, which is a good thing, but also you made me remember that last Hellboy movie.
Acknowledges that this is better than the last Hellboy movie. Sends it anyway. Also arbitrary movie reference.
Hey, you want to see something cool?
Breaking the fourth wall to ask a rhetorical question.
Making up something that didn't happen to pad the sin count and runtime of the video.
It is more important for Puss to draw his trademark in the dirt than to move out of the way of a falling giant. A giant that will 100% cover up everything Puss etched in the dirt anyway.
Except the whole reason this opening sequence is in the movie is to establish Puss's biggest character flaw. He's arrogant and too worried about people looking at him and saying he's awesome. This arrogance leads to him losing 8 of his 9 lives, which causes death to come after him, which then kickstarts the plot of the movie. The fact that you consider this a movie flaw, even though there's a reason why, shows how bad your media literacy is.
Okay, one more number.
Encores. Seriously, why do people like encores? They never get announced. And
Skip.
You died.
duh, he was crushed by a giant bell. He should be reduced to a pancake fur-covered bag of bone dust. Do cats regenerate? Descend with new bodies from the heavenly ether? How does any of this work?
Who knows? Who cares? What idiot asks questions this stupid when watching this movie? Oh, wait, never mind.
Take it easy, Doctor. Let's see. There was the running of the bulls in Pamplona.
And this will continue to show us all 8 times Puss in Boots has died. Because there's nothing a child likes to see more in their movie than dead cat montages.
I'm pretty sure this is aimed at general audiences and not kids specifically. Oh, wait, I forgot. You act like all animation is aimed at kids when that's not the case.
Excuse me, does this have shellfish in it?
Yes, sir.
Dying because of your own selfish actions.
Get it? It's a pun. Why does your joke count as a sin for this movie? Why can't you just make jokes, not change the sin counter, and only add sins for actual problems with these movies you sin?
That makes 8, Puss. You are down to your last life. My prescription? No more adventures for you.
But at least half of those deaths were not adventure-based. Puss could die by crossing the street at the wrong time.
That's true, but the point the Doctor is making is that adventures are more likely to kill him, so he's trying to limit Puss's chances of dying again.
Treat?
Why would your treats all be fish-shaped? You don't only work on cats. And honestly, it's a bit insensitive to your fish clients.
Maybe he has specific treats for the dogs and fish as well, and this just happened to be the treats for cats.
Retire. You are too good looking to retire.
Vanity.
Oh no, a character is flawed and not perfect. Surely that's a bad thing in storytelling.
Well. If it isn't Puss in Boots himself.
Talking to someone at a bar without their explicit consent. Some people just want to drink cream and be with their own thoughts, Mr. Wolf.
Jeremy just sent a bad guy for doing something bad.
Also, Death Wolf opts for being a badass character introduction instead of actually good at his job. How do you ever expect to fill your death harvest quota with all this pussyfooting around?
There's quite a lot wrong with this sin. First, you're implying that death should kill Puss immediately. That's not how the job works. Death is supposed to wait until someone dies to take their soul, meaning he's not supposed to kill them prematurely, which leads to my second point. The reason he wants to kill Puss early is because he's frustrated that Puss didn't take care of his lives more carefully. Death hates Puss for wasting his 8 previous lives, and so he wants to torture him by scaring him and then killing him. This is what makes Death in this film a villain, even though some will argue he isn't.
Why does Puss have 8 empties strewn around here when he's the only one in the bar? Just reuse your glass, man. The bartender and the planet are begging you.
You're missing the symbolism in this scene. Puss had died 8 times, and he's down to his 9th and final life. Here there are 8 glasses, and he's currently drinking his 9th and final one.
Everyone thinks they'll be the one to defeat me. But no one's escaped me yet.
But let me guess, Puss in Boots will, not for any logical or earned reasons, but because movies got a movie.
Ah, so here's a sin I really want to correct, as I wrongfully said that Puss escapes death, but that's not exactly what happened. Again, Death wanted to kill Puss prematurely because of his arrogance, and at the end of the film, Puss has grown into a more mature character, and Death sees this, and so he lets him go.
The only way it's possible for the moon to be this large is if Roland Emmerich is forcing John Bradley to spout bullshit science to Halle Berry and Patrick Wilson again.
Arbitrary movie reference.
He was known across the land by many names. The Leche Whisperer.
They called him the Milk Whisperer? The f does that even mean?
It's a different version of Horse Whisperer, but swapping out horse for leche to comedically show his obsession with milk. I mean, remember when you said in the first film for portraying Puss drinking milk like alcohol?
Scolding a cat for using a human toilet instead of using him to make yourself millions off selling the movie rights to Pickles, the cat who can pee standing up.
You're saying this as if this lady should be surprised by this? In a world where a princess turns into an ogre and marries another ogre and is friends with a talking donkey who marries a dragon and has kids with that dragon? Do I have that right?
It's over.
Oh no. Wanna rub my belly?
I don't care if he's a textbook comic relief sidekick in an animated movie. I love Perito, and I'm taking a sin off. But also textbook comic relief sidekick in an animated movie cliche. So I guess I do care.
So wait, do you like Perito or not? You remove the sin for you liking him, but then add a sin because he's a good comic relief side character? Does that make sense to anyone?
Can we switch over to following Mama Luna then? Because I'm way more interested in the piano stuffing story than anything I've seen in this movie so far.
Saying you're more interested in a random throwaway line than the best animated movie of 2022.
Dead? No, he can't be.
Yep, the nose never lies.
That grave would take one of the bears about 3 seconds to dig up. Why wouldn't they check it?
That's a great idea. Dig up the grave of someone dead.
Puss is climbing this water wheel as if that's a sneaky way in, but this is just terrible castle design. Anyone could use that to easily scale your gates. They don't even have to be a self-obsessed, non-existent Zorro cat.
Except if a regular person climbed up here, where would he go next? If they just jumped into this yard, there are guards there that can spot him. The only way Puss was able to get in was going through a vent, which most characters in this universe are too big to do.
This movie is being super flippant with its wanted posters. Are all of these characters really wanted by the police? And if so, how f***ing terrible is the Storyland police force if they can't catch any of them? They're not even trying to remain hidden.
We've seen Puss in Boots over the course of 5 movies now do a great job avoiding capture. Except that one time in Shrek 2, but that's most likely rare. Kitty Softpaws is just as sneaky as Puss. We can assume Goldie and the bears are pretty dang tough and hard to catch, and Big Jack Horner has been established to be an incredibly powerful crime boss. I mean, did you see all the fairy tale artifacts he has to defend himself with?
'Cause I'm a real boy, no strings attached. Thank you.
2023 really was the year of Pinocchio, huh?
Nope, you mean 2022, which had 3 Pinocchio movies, and another Pinocchio in this movie, which came out that year as well. And why is that even a sin for this movie?
Would you stop talking about blooming pies? Focus!
I'm sorry, but every one of those Lilliputians was dead long before she broke that glass, unless they somehow vacuumed inertia out of that bottle.
Sending this hilariously dark scene.
The best thief has won.
Premature celebration.
This idiot.
Taking the time to say this, but not moving out of the way.
Finally, you need therapy.
Accusing someone else of needing therapy as if it's something we all wouldn't benefit from. Being this careless with your priceless collection, and everyone knows you never take a collectible out of the box. Starting to doubt his seriousness as a collector.
I'll get you, my kitties, and your little dog, too.
Not subtitling your movie The Wizard of Paws.
The Dark Forest? No one goes into the Dark Forest.
Or comes out.
I mean, if no one goes in, it's a pretty safe assumption that they won't be coming out, no?
The last 6 sins were just yelling at the screen. None of this was something wrong with the movie, and since yelling at the screen is worth 5 sins, we'll multiply that number by 6 and add that many sins to the counter. Math is fun.
Wait, what?
Dog? Still alive?
Why does Puss think Perito can hear him now? Does Puss in Boots even know how to portal? Because I don't think he does.
Ah yes, because Puss should definitely know how a portal that he's never seen before works.
This idea of a map that transforms the path based on the user is clever and stunningly executed. Am I taking another sin off? Is it possible a movie from the Shrek universe is actually f***ing good?
Again, I appreciate the sin removal, but you just implied the other Shrek movies aren't good again. Dude, Shrek the Third is the only bad Shrek movie. Come on.
Swamp of Infinite Sorrows?
Artax!
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
I don't even have a wish, but can I try it?
So if the map gives you the path of whatever is in your heart, then wouldn't that also mean whomever's path is selected would be the one to get the wish? How would Puss or Kitty get to make a wish if they used Perito's path? The lack of rules given for this map is very frustrating.
Why do you think that's how it works? Did the movie say that? It obviously doesn't matter if the person who holds the map gets the wish. You are speaking as if there's a basis for this, but it's a magical power that this movie is literally making up. You basically just said this made up magical power doesn't work like how I think it should.
Wait, is that
putting characters on the map before they complete their journey through the sky sphincter.
Same thing as the last sin. Why is it a sin for the movie to have its own rules for magic that it made up? You're not writing this movie, so you don't get to decide what the rules are.
You know, I think all you have to do is stop and smell the roses.
But how did Perito know this flower would lift him up to where Puss and Kitty are? First one he sniffed just let him pass by. And if Perito can use the flowers to transport him around by simply willing it to do so, why continue to walk anywhere?
Jeremy just asked why they don't use these flowers to transport them for the rest of the journey. Does he assume that these flowers are everywhere in this place? Because I don't think they are.
Why are you so ridiculous, dog? What's your story?
Is Perito's story that he's a discount Olaf? I mean, if he started singing about how much he loves summer, I would not be surprised.
This is why I have the arbitrary movie reference in. Jeremy is just randomly referencing a film here, and he seems to think simply doing that is funny. The problem is, I don't see what the joke is here. How is asking if Perito's story is like Olaf's funny at all? This is just a waste of our time.
I judge you. I sit on your shoulder and judge your actions and the quality of your character. I'm your conscience.
Jiminy Stewart's showing up here is hilarious, but why does he have 2 pant legs instead of 4? Still, this scene is now the 3rd best Pinocchio movie of the year. Congrats!
Are you saying that either the Pauly Shore Pinocchio movie or the Disney live-action Pinocchio movie are better than this?
Why does this work but the chopping didn't? I need to know why the magical regenerating flowers could only magically regenerate in specific ways.
Clearly, the movie is telling you that fire is a flower's weakness. You could have figured that out by simply watching the movie.
Pulling foam out of non-foamy water and then using a dagger as scissors to cut the beard off an animal that shouldn't grow a beard.
Narration.
Give us the map, or else the Baker Man gets it.
How convenient that everyone arrived here within a few seconds of each other. But how did Goldilocks, Pops, and 2 other barrels even get through the flowers? And what was up with the River of Relaxation? Did it have an obstacle? Did the other groups just skip it somehow?
You're asking for some extra unimportant scenes that would have only padded the runtime. Come on, man, not everything in a movie needs to be explained. This is a movie, not a documentary.
You've just been crimed by the 3 Bears crime family.
Can we just talk for a second about how Goldilocks ended up here after breaking and entering the bear's house? In the original fairy tale, they try to eat her and she runs away, which makes sense. But here, apparently, after they adopted her, they all decided, let's have this young woman be our crime syndicate leader. And what in the reverse Stockholm is going on here?
Bringing up the original Goldilocks story means nothing, especially because this is in the Shrek franchise, a series of movies that subverts fairy tale characters all the time, like having a fairy godmother and Prince Charming be the villains. And I have to ask again, would knowing this information really make the movie better?
I'm supposed to be a fearless hero, a legend. But without lives to spare, I am nothing.
Although you could argue that in between the previous 8 lives, you were simply a hero with 8 cheat codes. So at least you're not a cheater anymore.
Okay, what does this have to do with anything?
Not a big-time crime syndicate, love. A big-time crime family. Isn't that right, Goldie?
Referring to your employment situation and your coworkers as a family. I don't care if they actually are family. That's still messed up. Don't do that.
Dominic Toretto would like to have a word. Also, they're a mafia, and mafia groups often refer to themselves as families.
Hello, honey.
Scene does not contain a willy-nilly silly old bear.
Get it? CinemaSins referencing Winnie the Pooh because he's a bear that likes honey, and there's a bear on screen that likes honey. Do you get it?
So I ran.
Did you run so far away? Did you get away? Sudden flock of seagulls references aside, I saw you leave and it could be best described as a slow mope. There was no running involved.
Taking this sentence at face value.
You're horrible. You're an irredeemable monster.
Indeed, which is funny, sure, but also kind of steals the ability of the movie to have any kind of nuance about its central villain. Am I sinning a children's movie for not having nuance? Does a bear make porridge in the woods of varying temperatures?
First of all, this isn't a children's movie, it's a family movie. Secondly, Big Jack Horner is meant to be an homage to old school Disney villains like Maleficent or Jafar, and that they're irredeemable villains who are evil for evil's sake, but are also enjoyably fun to watch. So no, I disagree with this sentiment, especially considering this movie has plenty of nuance already.
I do love the smell of fear.
Since fear itself does not have a distinctive odor, I think what you mean to say, Wolf, was that you love the smell of the body's reactions from someone or something that fears you, which would most likely be a mix of sweat, urine, and feces. I guess we like what we like, but I'm still judging you a little.
Guys, did anyone need to hear that? Because I sure as heck didn't.
I'm getting a family. That's what, a proper family.
What, are you trying to give this character nuance? Just let her be an irredeemable villain. This is a children's movie for fuck's sake.
Holy contradiction, Batman! You sin Jack Horner for being irredeemable, and then sin Goldilocks for not being that? What in far, far away do you want?
What is that?
Goldie and the bears are still there? Why aren't they still trying to get the map away from Puss? And if you say they had a change of heart, so help me, I will hug you, but not a fun hug. It will be the hug.
Skip! Also, yes, Goldilocks had a change of heart since she wanted a real family and realized the bears were a real family all along, so I don't know what else you want. But yeah, skip!
What's the matter? Lives flashing before your eyes?
No. Just one.
Also, the lesson here appears to be if you have the chance to save your life that involves no fighting, throw that possibility out the window and go ahead and have an unnecessary fight. Yeah, that sounds like a great lesson. Fighting is always the answer, kids.
No, the lesson here is that you can't escape death and you're going to have to face it at some point. The fight here is a metaphor.
Pick it up. I know I can never defeat you, Lobo.
But also, this works. I'm not kidding. Wolf leaves after this. Keep watching. It's f***ing unreal.
How about you keep watching? Because you would see Death give his reasoning for why he leaves.
Voy a jugar con mi comida. You're ruining this for me. I came here for an arrogant little legend who thought he was immortal.
But I don't see him anymore. Live your life, Puss in Boots. Live it well.
What about this doesn't make sense? The fact that you don't get it, especially because it's possibly the best thing about this entire movie, is worth 10 sins.
Apparently Jack Horner went to the every villain ever school of not actually being dead, but waiting until the most opportune time to resurrect themselves.
He probably had to find that potion to make them gigantic. Like, you know that's Mary Poppins' bag, right? Remember how ginormous the inside of it is?
What have you done?
I'm confused too, Giant Jack Horner. Puss still had time to make his wish. Why is no one shouting out a wish?
Let's break this down. Puss's wish was to get his 9 lives back, but then he changed his mind. Kitty wanted someone she could trust, but then she's befriended Puss and Perito, so she changed her mind. Perito doesn't have a wish. Goldilocks wants to have a real family, but then she decided the bears were a family all along. Jack wanted to be all-powerful, but everyone else stopped him before he could make that wish. Maybe if you paid attention to this movie, you would know that.
Where are we headed anyways?
Off to find new adventures and to see some old friends.
Using Shrek as sequel bait when I prefer on keeping him far, far away.
And you're ending this video by sending Shrek one last time. You know, the franchise that millions of people love and I made countless videos of on this platform. I mean, the original Shrek was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay for crying out loud. Are you seriously not aware of any of that?